Welcome back to the KOMPAK YouTube channel. Today I have the lovely Chloe here, and I thought this would be a perfect episode to talk about competing abroad or competing internationally, because this is something I have never done.
Yeah.
So Chloe is a pro, and she's a pro at competing abroad. So I thought we could go through her top tips of what you should be considering or what you should be doing if you are looking to compete abroad. So Chloe, first thing, someone wants to compete abroad, what's the plan?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is to be really organized. That's really important.
Yeah.
I mean, for a show in general, to be prepared, to be ready. So get your appointment in advance, like for your hair, for your nails, like if you need to go to the hairdresser or to have like, everything. And just be organized. But my first tip really would be first to fly early enough. So make sure to be there at least 2, 3 or 4 days prior to the show. First, for two reasons. First, to avoid water retention.
Do you hold a lot of water?
I don't.
See, I do. I flew to Thailand, I think, a month ago, and I realised how much water I hold on to. So yeah, it definitely got me thinking about how much, especially when you are like really sensitive.
Yeah, when you are sensitive and when the longest the flight is, the earliest you must be there.
Yeah.
Like it's a 8-9 hours flight, be there at least 5 days prior.
Yeah.
It's just 1 hour flight, 2 or 3 days is enough.
Yeah.
And also drink water in the plane. Drink a lot of water in the plane to make sure to have the fluids going. And also another reason is sometimes flights are really early in the morning, so you have to get up at 2 or 3, or it depends. So you are able to have a few good nights of sleep prior to the show, because if you fly you have to wake up at 2 and you are tired going into the show, it shows on your physique.
Yeah.
So,
you were so organised when you came here.
yeah.
I was so impressed. Like, we had, what did you told me, like, Thursday, this is everything I need to do on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday, this is everything I need to do on Friday, and this is the location I have to go to. Like, I was so impressed by how much, like, you thought of every single thing. And I just think it's just so important to do it, because I don't know, you just didn't seem stressed.
No, because everything is planned, so you know what you have to do and everything is planned, so it reduces stress. But also it's really important to do it, because you can't afford to forget things.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go there and be like, yeah, I will sit there, and you forget everything, and then you have, oh shit, I have to do cardio, I have to train, I have to do grocery store, and then you forget everything. And you have to do it 100%.
So what do you do about food? That's usually the big worry. That's the big question. What do you do usually when it comes to being organised, making sure you have the right food, the correct amount of food, everything like that?
Yeah. So first of all, I will plan my meals ahead of time. So I know, for example, I use macro tracking. So I know what my macros will be for the week, and so I plan my meals accordingly to my macros. If you have a meal plan, you know your meals, of course. So you know what you will have to eat, and there is 2 ways to do it. Which I like to do. What I like to do is to prep my meals in advance, to freeze them, and then to take them with me frozen in my
the big
suitcase.
baggage.
Yeah,
the big
that
baggage.
goes in the
under.
the plane.
I feel. So basically, the big, you have the hand luggage, which is the small one,
carry-on,
and then you have the big. I don't even know what it's called myself. It's just the big suitcase you put underneath that you have to say goodbye to for like a good few hours. That one. Put your frozen food in there.
Exactly. And so it reduces stress because you don't have to cook there.
Yeah.
And also it helps if you don't have a kitchen. So if you stay in a hotel, for example, you won't be able to cook. So you have your meals ready and you don't have to cook there. Or you want to cook there, but if you want to cook, you have to book an Airbnb. So you have a kitchen.
Do you book an Airbnb most of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, usually yes. So I'm sure I have a kitchen if I need to cook more or... Yeah.
Do you take scales if you like weighing scales?
I do, yeah.
Do you take scales, so you take the food scales, do you take body scales?
I do.
You do as well?
I do. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But I'm really...
You just like to know.
I like data.
Yeah.
And when you change scale, sometimes it can vary your weight. So I like to use my scale, but of course you don't have to.
That's true.
It's also heavy in your luggage, so...
So what do you do with, because you competed, you turned pro during COVID.
Yeah.
That must have been like an additional stress.
It was because so I competed in 2020, I turned pro in 2020 and all of my shows got cancelled or like postponed. So I had to, everything was booked and I had to cancel everything and rebooked later and it was a mess, but hopefully now it's done. But make sure to check if there is still a COVID restriction. For example, if you want to go to the US or to Australia, you need to be vaccinated. But now in Europe, there's no more restriction.
Yeah, I think most of the time it's good now.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would have forgotten in the past is I've never been to America, but you have to, depending on your passport, like I think the UK passport's quite good, but even so, like you still need to apply for a visa in plenty of time. So it depends on like what country you live in, but regardless, just it's so easy, I think, just to type on Google.
Yeah, it is.
Like, you know, visa requirement to enter X country from X country. And I think just double check it, because I think I've had a few friends that just have traveled to America and they've not realised until really last minute, and then they're panicking and they have to wait a few days and stuff like that. So like regardless whether you think it's going to be an easy country, just double check, because you don't want stress, because stress kills you on prep as well.
And it's also about traveling abroad. If you've never been to the country, make sure you know a little bit about the culture, like what you can do, what you can't do. Make sure for your electric devices that you have adapters. For example, for the UK, I need to bring adapters.
I always forget. That's the one thing I always forget: toothbrush and an adapter every time.
And also the currency, if you need cash. Sometimes you don't think about it, so
even like your phone data. Some countries, like you might get caught a little bit short. So maybe checking like the hotel has Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
that's really important.
Sometimes you have to pay for it.
Oh, do you? Not going there. Where do you pack your? That's one question I have for you. Where do you pack your shoes? Where do you pack your bikini? Like where does that all go for you?
So there is two things that are really important that you put in your carry-on. Is your bikini and your heels.
Yes.
Because if you put it in your luggage and your luggage got lost, and you have your show 2 days after, and you don't have your bikini or your heels, it won't go well. So make sure to always put your bikinis and your heels in your carry-on. Yeah.
What about your tan? If you're doing your own tan, where'd you put that?
Well, you can't put it in your carry-on unless you have a small one, but otherwise...
Can you imagine if we spilled that? So, to summarise, what have we got? Pack your bikini and your show shoes in your carry-on, so in your hand luggage. Forget everything else. Even if you just have your bikini and your shoes and your carry-on, that's the most...
At least you're good.
Exactly. Make sure you are checking any COVID or visa requirements, especially if you are going to America or Australia. They are the main places that will need a visa and you might not know. Look and see if you need to get an Airbnb. Find a kitchen, it's very, very important. Look at food options. So Chloe does the freezer tactic. So she freezes all her meals, puts in the luggage. She literally came here yesterday. Easy, it was like straight in. And I think that was Wi-Fi, that was the other thing as well.
And fly early enough.
Yes.
Be there at least 3 days prior. And one last thing that I just figured, book a hotel or Airbnb close to the venue. It will be so much easier for you to go to the show. if you are close.
Yeah, 100%. So that was a good roundup. I'm hoping that if I ever compete, that'll be good. Chloe has got her own YouTube channel, by the way, and she does document a lot of her preps and a lot of the times that she does compete abroad. So definitely go over and check that out. And anything else that we have missed, then you can always just drop us a message. But I hope that was an interesting video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you, babe, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you in the next episode.